All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, everyone? This is Sheets, and I'm going to be going over the carnage that happened in week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14 of the Survivor Pool journey. And it was rough out there. We talk about this for the entire season, and as you get down to the end, each elimination is worth just a ton, and each ownership fade is worth just a ton, and you set yourself up to be able to put these puzzle pieces into the puzzle, and then you just have to drop them and see if the NFL gods can shine favorably upon you once you put yourself in a position to win. So it was a very, very interesting week, to say the least, and I'm gonna go over just a couple of the pools. First of all, in the Discord, I heard some pretty good news. Like, a couple of people won their pools this week outright, and then a couple of people lost, but because everybody else in their pool busted, they ended up chopping, so that's money back as well. It was a very, very difficult week, and we went over this in the Discord. Well, we went over this in the premium show last week, that if you had single picks, you had a very, very interesting decision to make between Tampa and fading Tampa. And we knew that Tampa was going to be extraordinarily high owned. And if you could find something in your availability to make it work, then it might be worth taking a shot to do that. And unfortunately, the main pivot, that being Cleveland, they lost as well. So that was very, very, very unfortunate. The teams that you really needed to take shots with, if you had them available, and that's a tough parlay, was Buffalo and Minnesota. I'm still looking out there to see if any of people in my Discord here were able to get through with those, because it was very, very tough. It was very tough if you had both Tampa and Cleveland available to fade them both. But you know what? The people that had the stones to do that, they ended up knocking out like the entire civilized world. Now, as a matter of fact, there was one entry. Where is this? I'm going to show you literally my favorite entry in the entire Splash community. And this person is I won't say better than me, but this person definitely has a lot more wherewithal. Not wherewithal. I don't know. We'll get to that entry in a minute. But it was tough. We went through Werhane's entries. We went through hoops, and again, I just gave them options. If you wanted to be ultra aggressive, you do something like Buffalo and Minnesota. But the reality is that some variation of Tampa and Cleveland were very likely to appear in the lineups, and I believe they ended up doing that. So, in addition to that, we had Title, who was deep in the 1K, and he went with the Bucks as well, and they lost. And the only other option for him to have played was probably Cleveland, and they would have lost. So it was tough out there. But for those that are still in somehow, that's great. For those who chop, that's obviously great for you, and hopefully everybody's learned something, and you can see how much money there is floating around in these things. I'm really looking forward to continuing on for this for the next couple of years with you guys, because you guys have learned quite a bit this year, and we're again, it's tough. It's tough to get all the way through, but you make good decisions, and that's really all you can do about it. Now, there are other pools that are continuing to fly here. There are pools that are going straight through the playoffs, which I'm going to be participating in. So I consider just, not doing any more of the videos, but screw that. As long as I'm going to keep playing, I'm going to keep posting stuff. So if for no other reason, for my own benefit, to just talk my way through these things. The next, by the way, the next thing to look forward to, as far as a huge pool, if you're not still in the Survivor stuff, is the NCAA March Madness Survivor pool, and that is, trust me, that is going to challenge your brain like nothing else. Okay, and we'll get to that when we get to that. But just to kind of show you a couple of things that happened. So this is a Shipping Nation tournament, and this went from like, I don't even remember how many were in it. Like, but 2 weeks ago there was like 1,000. And it got down to 7. And you see, like, these were the things people had to do. Like, all of these players had Tampa available and faded them, and they also all faded Cleveland. So that's what you needed to do. God bless them. And God bless B. Gresseth, who is obviously is a superstar DFS player, got 3 of the 7 entries left. So if anybody's going to win, let it be a DFS guy, I guess. All right. Now let's look at some of these others. Let's look at the high roller. This is the one that that title was in. This went from 51 all the way down to 13. And again, these were the types of plays. Buffalo, Denver. If you somehow still had Denver available, you played them. This was kind of a nice play to play. Miami is only a 2-point favorite. Pretty ballsy, I have to say. And there's Caveman, who I know. Caveman is also a DFS guy, so he got through with the Rams. Yeah, and that's down to 13, paying $1 million for first. We'll get to the big splash in a minute. This was my pool. This was a little demoralizing, so I knew this was going to happen, but I did it anyway. Check this out. Like, everybody except for one person, there was only 10 left, played Tampa. I remember my logic was that all my leverage was going to be in week 17. So with the Patriots, so I really should have erred on the side of safety to make it to week 17. So I went with Tampa, and I had a feeling this was going to happen. And Mark Gregorich, for those of you who know him, he's very sharp. He actually ran this pool, which is another story. But all the Tampa's lost, and he got there with Green Bay at the very end. So good on him. He actually won the pool outright. And then I don't even want to talk about Circa. Circa is down to 10 people paying $18 million for first. Maybe next year we'll pay a little bit more attention to that one. But the splash is really where to me, this is where all the big equity is. So this is the big splash, and this is down to 24. I mean, I have to give some applause here. Where is this entry that I talked? Plastic Dub. We have to give him well, there are 2 bits of applause we have to give. First, we have to give some applause to AJ Porazim. He's got 4 of the 24 left, but Plastic Dub really gets like the round of applause of the season. Look at who he went and picked last week in doubles. He played the Saints and Tennessee. He took leverage to like the ultimate extreme. He took the 2 highest owned teams, that being Tampa and Cleveland, and just completely went against them. He played a team that had a 20% winning chance and a team that had like a 30% winning chance, and he needed them both to win. So he had a 6% chance of advancing, and he did it, and he got there. So much applause to you for trying that and having it work, I guess. So he's obviously the person I'm rooting for. And this is what ends up happening. The Minnesota Buffalo, I thought, was actually pretty sharp, as I discussed. Good for him to have played that. I don't know if I would have played the Rams with them available in 17. So that's interesting. Ooh, look at this guy getting through with the Chargers in overtime last night with the interception. Gotta love that. Here's another Tennessee. The same dude. He played Miami and Tennessee. Really just got after it. This is what I guess you needed to do. There's another Tennessee, Miami and Tennessee. So actually, look at six of the 24 entries that are advancing took stone cold leverage. Now, this guy actually couldn't have taken Cleveland because he had taken them before, but all these others could have, and they took Tennessee anyway. So all I can say, good for them. So tomorrow I am going to do another show. I'm going to do the. There's a pool that I want to track that starts this week. That is doubles throughout the rest of the season, and then leading into the playoffs. And I think it's very interesting. So I am going to go through that, and I'll continue to track these big tournaments as they kind of play out. That is going to do it. I will see you guys tomorrow. And again, for those of you who have not signed up yet, I'm telling you, there's a lot to learn from this stuff. And when we get to NCAA March Madness, you are really going to want to get in there. That's going to do it. Good luck, everybody.